Right now at 6, the 2021 Joplin Writers Fair takes place at the Joplin Public Library. We're going to take you there. Plus, Miami holds a pop strut. We'll show you some of the dogs that were out and about, like that cute little guy. And the Biden administration puts out a call for unity for its infrastructure plan.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources awards $30,000 to the city of Jasper. The money comes from a drinking water engineering report grant to help the city evaluate water and wastewater system improvements. Now, the grant will help the city identify drinking water system improvements that will help the city continue to meet water quality standards. In addition, it covers the engineering costs for those evaluations and will allow the city to review water and wastewater system improvements. Speaking of water, there may be a lot of that on the way. Nick Kelly joins us.
Thankfully, we didn't have to deal with any of that for today, Chris. Any water that we saw was way up in the clouds. That's why we did have some partly sunny skies throughout the course of the day, but we're all looking quiet from 7th and Range Line, and quite frankly, all across the entire 4-state region. But the bigger picture, I want to quickly show you our next cold front just out to the west, working across central Kansas. That's going to shake things up as we head toward tomorrow evening, certainly along with these couple of upper level lows. That's going to bring in our next best shot for thunderstorms as we wrap up the weekend by tomorrow evening and certainly tomorrow night. But this evening's looking okay, mid to upper 80s, so quite warm, sure. But well, after our warm start, we'll fall back into the mid 70s by midnight and lows back near 70. Now, Chris, the next system on the way won't do anything for us during the day tomorrow, but it could bring some strong, maybe severe storms by tomorrow night. We'll break that system down on the rest of the forecast here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. The Joplin Public Library co-hosted the 2021 Joplin Writers Fair this morning. The event featured 15 different authors, all from the region. Those writers specialized in a variety of genres and forms such as fiction, nonfiction, poetry, fantasy, and even local history, just to name a few. It also gave local residents the opportunity to meet some of their favorite local authors and even learn a bit about getting into the writing business.
Often whenever you're starting, especially with something that's arts related, people are the best resource, and so when they can connect with people who already have that experience, those people can share tips of the trade and things like that with them.
Now, the event was postponed last year due to the pandemic. It was started back in 2017. Miami's Rotary Centennial Park was the place to be this morning for both 4-staters and their 4-legged friends. Dog owners participated in a community dog walk that also featured prizes, doggy bags, and even a meet and greet with a local rescue pets. The fun-filled event, also known as the Pop Strut, was put on by both Miami's Community Crisis Center and the Miami Animal Alliance. And while it was meant to be a good time for both people and pups, it was also sending out a serious message.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and there is a really high correlation between animal abuse and domestic violence. So we partnered with Miami Animal Alliance just to kind of bring the community out and raise awareness and let people know that we think all people and pets deserve to be safe, and there's free local resources, and just encourage people with information and ways that they can get involved and ways they can reach out for help if they need it.
Now, the event was labeled as the first annual Pup Strut, and organizers were encouraged by the decent turnout. They say they're excited about doing it all again next year and hope they can get even more people and puppies involved. Well, President Biden addressed a virtual meeting of the Democratic National Committee today, telling them that the party's infighting could cost them in next year's elections. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
President Biden has a warning for his fellow Democrats. Stick together or prepare to say goodbye to their House and Senate majorities.
Here's the deal. We won 2020 as a unified party, and we're looked to 2022. As we do that, we need to stay unified.
That warning comes as the president's domestic agenda appears stalled in Congress. Progressive and centrist Democrats remain locked in disagreement over the size of a $3.5 trillion social spending bill.
I don't believe that we should turn our society into an entitlement society.
I am not exactly sure what he means by that. Is protecting working families and cutting childhood poverty and entitlement.
The GOP, meanwhile, has been anything but divided in their opposition to the White House's proposals. On Thursday, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell diffused the crisis by agreeing to temporarily lift the nation's debt ceiling.
We've been down this path before when you did not have divided government, and the party and the majority got the job done.
Senator Mitch McConnell says he won't raise it again, even if that could result in a government default. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden addressed the Democrats gathering from Delaware. Mr. Biden is spending the weekend at his home in Wilmington. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Private First Class Kenneth Matlock served in the Army in India and Burma, his hometown, Mound City, Kansas. And we're proud to recognize Private First Class Kenneth Matlock, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, learn more about other heroes or to nominate one of your own at any time. All you need to do is head over to our website, and that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, still ahead on the KOAM News at 6, Portugal reaches a vaccine milestone and Russia reaches a grim COVID number. But first, here's a look at some of the events happening across the four states tomorrow. Portugal has become the first country to fully vaccinate 85% of its population against COVID-19. That's according to Portuguese health authorities. Officials say that around 15.3 million shots have been administered so far, which means that 8.4 million people are now fully vaccinated. The country's Director General for Health told state news agency Lusa that Portugal should be proud of the achievement and said the key element for this vaccination rate was the vaccine intake among young adults and teenagers. Russia has reported its highest daily number of COVID-19 deaths today. According to the country's coronavirus response center, 968 people died in the last 24 hours. That's the fourth day in a row Russia has recorded more than 900 fatalities. The Russian Minister of Health said on Friday that the coronavirus situation in the country remains extremely tense and continues to worsen. Authorities are making additional beds available for patients with the virus. Well, the risk linked to picky eating when you get to college and the pandemic is leading people to skip life-saving surgeries. Naomi Ruckham has a look at the week's top health stories.
1 in 7 cancer patients says they've had a serious operation delayed due to the pandemic. The University of Birmingham looked at data from 20,000 patients in 61 countries. Researchers found even potentially life-saving surgeries were pushed back or canceled due to COVID-19 lockdowns. The impact was the biggest on low-income cancer patients. Picky eaters in college may be losing out on valuable fiber and vegetables in their diet. In a new study of almost 500 undergraduates, more than a third identified themselves as picky eaters. In addition to the dietary impacts, researchers found picky eating was also linked to a fear of being evaluated by others, lower quality of life, and distress about what to eat. And 1 in 10 people around the world suffers from pain after eating meals. A new survey from Belgian and Swedish researchers found 13% of women and 9% of men report frequent abdominal pain after eating. Researchers say it shows how prevalent digestive problems are, and people with frequent attacks also have higher rates of depression and anxiety. That's a look at some of the week's top health stories. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Later on the KOAM News at 6, a rare baseball card sets a record at auction.
But first, we'll break down the quiet evening, a quiet day tomorrow, then strong to severe storms tomorrow night. The latest up next. Thankfully, we've kept pretty quiet throughout much of this weekend so far, but I am watching changes. That's going to really shake things up by the time we head toward tomorrow. Late in the afternoon, if not certainly by this time tomorrow evening. As far as temperatures go, over the past 36 hours, we pushed into the upper 80s yesterday, only dropping back into the lower 70s this morning before we topped right back near 90 degrees, numbers that we should not see in the month of October, but at least we kept things dry as partly to mostly sunny skies continue to filter on through ever since we started the day. And just to make doubly sure, we are not seeing anything on the radar network, at least right now. But by tomorrow evening and especially Wednesday. I think it's going to be our best shot for widespread rain and storms, with the main focus for the next 2.5 minutes on tomorrow night's rain chances. But other than that, we're keeping mainly warm tomorrow through much of early next week. And then by the weekend, though, mild, more fall-like air will start to foray back into the area as we get the weekend ahead underway. But we're still looking good from 7th and range line. 83 and jump on a south wind gusting to 25 at times. And that humidity is still reasonably low at 42%. Most of us are sitting, let's say, low to mid 80s on the Missouri side, the mid to upper 80s, even a couple of spots close to 90 in our corners of Kansas and Oklahoma. But we are going to trend downward with temperatures as we go through the rest of the evening. I think we'll be in the upper 70s by 10 o'clock, 76 by midnight, and then overnight lows in the upper 60s to near 70, with mostly clear skies to at least get our day started tomorrow. But even though we're not seeing anything around here right now, we do have a cold front draped across central Kansas and more potent severe weather unfolding across parts of the Dakotas up to our north and west. That is being aided by a couple of upper level lows, and these two systems will have to change our weather up as we go into tomorrow. And that is why we are highlighting a low severe threat, with the worst of the severe weather staying just southwest of the area. Closer to Tulsa you get, that's going to be the better shot for any serious severe weather for tomorrow. But around here, from 6 o'clock tomorrow evening until 2 a.m. Monday, so we'll have to keep an eye on this as we go into the overnight into Monday morning. That's when the system rolls in and gives us a chance for severe storms with hail, wind, and heavy rain being the biggest issues here. So let's time that out with your future track forecast. But we can zip through the rest of the evening because partly cloudy skies now, but we'll turn mostly clear by sunrise as overnight lows drop back near 70. Noon tomorrow, we're still seeing a good south and southwest wind ahead of the cold front. That mainly keeps us dry for the afternoon, and you can see how we'll trend a little bit cooler tomorrow, but we'll still go from 70 in the morning, 80 by noon, and highs around 87. You can see how we're dry for much of the afternoon, but let me take you to 5 or 6 o'clock. Along and ahead of the front, we'll start to see scattered storms develop, and the better batch of storms trying to come its way out of northeastern Oklahoma. Again, though, I really think the worst of the severe weather stays just south of the region, but even as our storms roll on through by 11 o'clock tomorrow night and before they exit around 2 a.m., that's going to be our best shot for not only widespread rain and storms, but again, some severe weather with wind and hail being the biggest issues. And then we're going to slowly see this system clear out as we go into Monday. So in terms of overall rainfall, I think we've got a good shot to see 1 to 3 inches with this first system on the way in. Then we've got another system Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that will mainly serve to keep temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 during the middle of the week. But 87 tomorrow, 73 Monday, near 80 for the middle of the week. But once we get past Friday's system, Chris, that's when it's going to feel like fall again. I think Friday night, the football games look okay for now, and highs near 70. That's not looking so bad.
Well, up until this upcoming weekend, fall's kind of abrogated its duty to us to bring cooler temperatures, so it needs to get on it.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, but more importantly, we'll focus still on the strong to severe storms that we'll see for tomorrow.
I know you'll keep us
tomorrow
updated
night,
through.
I should say.
I know you'll update us tonight at 10, and we'll see you again tomorrow, too, see what's going on. Nick, thank you so much. Jacob Leonard joining us now with sports, and it is a big game today for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas.
Pitt State on the road against Northwest Missouri State, trying to hand the Bearcats their first loss. We'll talk about that. Plus, Carthage finishes up its home tournament against McDonald County. We'll have those highlights and more next. This week is week 6 for MIAA football. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas enter this weekend on a 3-game winning streak, setting at 4-1 through the first 5 weeks. Now tonight, they have a big one, hitting the road to face Northwest Missouri State. And Northwest is undefeated and ranked number 2 in the nation coming into the day. Now this one was a really good game, but the Gorillas fall 20-19 after holding a 13-0 lead at halftime. Jalen Martin, another huge game, 10 catches for 127 yards. Next weekend is homecoming weekend for Pitt State, hosting Lincoln. Well, speaking of Lincoln, that's where Missouri Southern is today, facing the Blue Tigers. Nathan Glades, the Joplin High School product, gets the first score of the day from 2 yards out. Southern really good offensively early. Dawson Hurl goes to Brian Boyd Jr. Boyd breaks one tackle, then another, then another. Lions go up 24-0. Boyd scores 3 touchdowns today. Lincoln chips away at the lead, but Southern finishes it off. Jeremy Brown, 8-yard touchdown here. 567 yards of offense today for the Lions. Southern wins big over Lincoln 52-32. All right, how do I do this one in 30 seconds? Oklahoma and Texas rivalry game today. First play, Casey Thompson to Xavier Worthy. Texas would actually go up 35-17 in just the second quarter. Oklahoma benches its starting quarterback Spencer Rattler. Then in the third, his replacement, Caleb Williams, scoops it up here, throws it and finds Marvin Mims, 14-yard touchdown. Then in the fourth, Kennedy Brooks, direct snap. He will go 18 yards for the touchdown here. Oklahoma has come back. They have their first lead, 48-41. But after Texas ties it up, Sooners with one more chance in regulation, less than 10 seconds left. It's Brooks again, direct snap. Oklahoma overcomes a 21-point deficit. They stay unbeaten at 6-0, winning 55-48. The Pittsburg State track and field program put in some work today in Pittsburgh, but it wasn't on the track. Our own Danny Terzer has more.
The Pittsburgh State track and field team spent the day at the Salvation Army.
Giving back also makes you just feel good about what you have and about helping people get better and where they're at in life right now. People around our age normally forgets like it is other people out there that doesn't have it as well as others.
The team was put to work making Christmas gift bags full of toys and school supplies.
Knowing that they're going to be taken care of and receive something special, even if it's not something great as what other kids get, I feel like the whole meaning of what's behind it is what makes it so special.
The gifts will be distributed to an estimated 1,200 children across Crawford County.
I actually have a daughter at home. Knowing if I was in getting a Christmas gifts from the Salvation Army or something, knowing that I don't have a whole lot would mean a whole lot to me, a whole lot to my kid, and a whole lot to my family. So I feel it's a really, really good thing that they got going on here.
Just a smile on their face is just enough to just know like you just did enough just to make somebody happy within that moment.
The team is focused on creating a positive relationship with the Pittsburgh community.
The more we get out, the more that we'll get back from the community, as in them coming to our meets and supporting us in any way that they can. Just having the crowd there can get us pumped up, knowing that we have the crowd behind us. Gives us more of that just energy that we need.
Community definitely comes out and supports and shows out for us. It's way more exciting. You have groups of people coming in and they're there watching you every race and every step of the way. It just makes you go a little harder.
In Pittsburgh, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
To softball now, final day of the Carthage tournament. The Tigers finish up against McDonald County. J.C. Franken, RBI double in the top of the first. McDonald County grabs the early lead. They get more in the second. Carly Cooper with runners on first and second. Back up the middle, scores a run. The runner from first, though, ends up being thrown out, trying to get to third. On the circle for Carthage, Jensen Elder tries to keep her team in it, keep them within striking distance. Strikeout there, but McDonald County shuts down Carthage at the plate, going on to win this one 5-0. So, Chris, it was definitely an exciting game today for Pittsburgh State. They had a 13-0 lead at halftime. They were so close to finishing off. Missed a 44-yard field goal with less than a minute to go.
Man, and just 1 point. 1 point. But here's the deal. That just means they're going to play even harder against Lincoln next week.
Yep,
Plus,
no
it's
doubt.
homecoming. So, I mean, they're going to play hard regardless.
It's always special.
Absolutely. Jacob, thank you so much. We're going to be right back. KOAM News at 10. It's time to celebrate once again in the 4 states. This weekend, we're taking you to Festa Italiana in Frontenac. Plus, we're going to tell you about a grant the city of Jasper received from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. And we're going to head to the Joplin Public Library for the 2021 Joplin Writers Fair. We got those stories and a lot more coming your way tonight at 10. Well, this 1911 photo of shoeless Joe Jackson holds the new record for a signed sports photo. Christie's says it just sold at auction for more than $1.4 million. That's roughly 4 times what the company had estimated. The photo of Jackson is part of an ongoing auction of baseball memorabilia. So I'd like to know who exactly, we have stories about various auctions. I want to know who has the money for these things. Who is the person who had the $1.4 million to bid?
I don't know. Those collectors, they swap and buy and sell things, and they got a lot of money. But some of that stuff is so cool.
What if it's the same buyers that always go to those big car auctions in Arizona?
I don't know, man.
Probably. Something to not look forward to necessarily tomorrow.
No, at least we look okay for tomorrow morning and for much of the day tomorrow. Highs are 87, but once we hit Sunday evening, Sunday night, and early Monday morning, that's going to be our next best shot for not only widespread storms, but strong to severe storms. That's why we declared Sunday an alert day, although technically it's an alert night for us. But we'll have the latest on that storm system, and we'll break the forecast down again tonight at 10, Chris.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That is our time for now. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Until then, thanks for making us part of your night.